everybody, it's your old pal Glenn Fricker here with another episode of sponsor-friendly gear reviews. This is the show where we take a look at new products and say nice things about them so manufacturers can line their pockets with your money. In today's episode, we're taking a look at the brand new, completely original microphone design from those world-renowned innovators over at Behringer. You remember Behringer, the company that sued its critics a couple of years ago for daring to say that the CT100 cable tester was a clone of the EdTech Swiss Army cable tester. I mean, take a look at them. They're clearly different products. The EdTech is blue while the Behringer is silver. And I think that judge was out of his freaking mind, handing a win to the defendants. Behringer was clearly being cyberbullied by those nasty critics. So today we're keeping that lawsuit in mind with this review of the brand new SL75C. I purchased all the gear featured in this video with my own money, so that means we'll get an honest, unbiased review, correct? Well, considering the fact that I really can't afford to get sued if somebody at Behringer gets mad at me, of course not! Now, taking a look at this mic, the first thing that strikes me is the name, the SL75C. And the C obviously stands for completely original. Please don't mistake this mic for the Shure SM57. They are very different products and completely different colors. The Behringer is black, which is cool, while the Shure is gray, which is not. Also, if you look closely, the Shure uses white lettering, while the Behringer uses gray. And taking a close look at the headbasket, we can see that the holes on the Behringer are just a bit longer. This most likely increases the tightness of the mic's pickup pattern. Finally, the headbasket on the 57 rotates, while the Behringer does not. And the biggest difference of all, the 57 comes in a pouch, while the Behringer comes in a super neato solid plastic case. See? Completely different. If anybody tells you otherwise, it's just plain fake news and they'll probably get sued by Behringer at some point. Now this is the part of the video where I'll normally try the mic out on various sources where I would normally use an SM57. And because we're in a lockdown at the moment, I can't really try it out on a snare drum because, well, I'm a terrible drummer and I can't have a talented one come out to the studio anytime soon. But I can tell you what it sounds like on voiceover because I've been speaking into it this entire time. Now, it might be just a little bit hyped in the top end. Let's try out the key test to hear just how much. All right, that might be just a little bit harsh. In comparison, here's my normal Octava MC012 that I use on pretty much every single video. I picked a pair of these up at Guitar Center about 20 years ago for only $200. They go for just a little bit more money these days, but they were definitely the bargain of the century once upon a time. Okay, so maybe the SL75C isn't the best choice for voiceover, but what about using it where the SM57 is the first choice most of the time? Electric guitar. Better yet, let's mic up a Rev Generator Mark III and shoot it out against the SM57 in the one place you're really going to want to hear the difference, the full mix. So let's hear from our band, the Nice Guys. Thanks for that, guys. That was super keen. Now, if we listen to a track soloed up for a moment, we can certainly hear some serious differences between the two. It seems like the Behringer is a little bit hyped in the top and the bottom, whereas the 57 seems a bit flatter. Now, because of the hype, the Behringer also appears to be louder, and we all know that louder means better. Just listen to any CD mastered in the early 2000s. Sounds fantastic, doesn't it? Now, why is there such a profound difference in the sound between the microphones? Well, it could be intentional, but it could also come down to the quality of its components. Now, I don't have an intimate scientific knowledge of microphone diaphragms and transformer properties, but I do have a scale. Comparing the two microphones, the Behringer weighs 253 grams and the SM57 weighs 278 grams. Now, these seem fairly comparable until we separate the microphone bodies from their diaphragms. The Behringer diaphragm weighs in at only 76 grams, while the SM57 is a whopping 127 grams. That's 2/3 more weight in the diaphragm on the 57. When we weigh the bodies, the Behringer weight is 174 grams, while the 57 only weighs in at 154 grams. So what's going on here? Why is the body heavier on the Behringer? Well, if we take a closer look, it seems as though the mic body is only partially machined out, and there's quite a bit of metal in there, as opposed to a hollow mic body. And why would they do this? Simply put, to make it seem like a quality piece of equipment. By way of comparison, if we look at the Pyle PDmic 78, it only weighs in at 192 grams and feels cheap by comparison. The Behringer looks slicker and feels much more solid. Therefore, it has to be a better mic, correct? I call this the Beats headphones effect, where they added a bunch of weight to their product in order to make it feel more high quality. In this case, it's just not drilling out as much metal out of a solid bar. Meanwhile, back on the Shure SM57, it seems like the weight is residing in the mic diaphragm and the transformer, the parts of the microphone that matter the most. So, should you get a Behringer SL75C? Well, at only $20, the price is certainly inviting. For myself, these would be the kind of mics I would bring to a local bar to record a band. If one got stolen, it wouldn't be that big of a loss. But would it be my primary mic for recording guitar? Probably not. The hype of the top end might sound fresh at first, but it will certainly become problematic when trying to craft a mix with high-gain metal tones. The lift seems to be right in the 4 kHz region, right where fingernails screech on a blackboard. When I reviewed the Pyle mic a few years ago, there's a link in the description below if you want to take a look, I found it to be a good blender mic. Something to work alongside the SM57 to fill in the cracks. There's no reason the Behringer couldn't be used for this task as well. So my advice is, if you're just starting out and want to get a great affordable mic to record instruments with, save up a few extra dollars and get the Shure because it only costs $99 at Sweetwater. There's a very good reason it's used extensively on many of the records you already own. If you're looking for something cheap to record non-critical sources with, the Behringer certainly works. Bottom line, the Behringer is definitely an original mic all right, in the most important category of all, the sound, because it doesn't even sound close to an SM57.